Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Punch newspaper. The major story here, talking about the Ondo crisis. Deputy takes over as Akeredolu returns to Germany for treatment. And the writers here, ailing governor to transmit letter to lawmakers. Tinubu meets Ondo leaders again. Assembly holds closed-door session. Akeredolu promises full recovery before returning. Another story here, Tinubu begs Nigerian doctors abroad to return. Over 5,000 Nigerians killed since May. A report is detailing this. Rivers gunmen kill 4 soldiers, 2 drivers kidnap expatriates. Now, Senate condemns Trade Ministry over 1 billion naira Geneva trip. Federal government probes use of foreign prisoners as construction workers. This story has been on for some time now. Now, federal government plans sale of 40% stake in discos. Others, court bars pro Wike speaker. APC demands sanction for judge. Interesting developments there. We'll move now to the First News newspaper. And the major story here says, Rivers crisis, court hands over assembly to Fubara loyalist, bars 27 pro-Wike lawmakers as judge declares governor's ally authentic speaker. CSO gives Inspector General of Police 24 hours to arrest, prosecute 27 defector lawmakers. And another story here, group lauds Tinubu for resolving Ondo political crisis, federal government to deploy drones in Nigeria's borders. And CNG, we have plans for Ogun transportation system to address rural-urban migration. Commissioner is speaking. 10 die as 7 injured as bus rams into truck on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. A sad one there. 18 Osun pupils land in hospital after eating free meal. We can also only wish them a quick recovery with regards to that. Now, another story here, fuel price will soon collapse, stakeholders are saying. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the First News newspaper. We'll move now to the Leadership newspaper, and the major story here says 23 sitting governors defect in 24 years. Sokoto, Imo, Abia, Adamawa, Zamfara top with 11 cases. Action immoral, says lawyers. And at the top corner, we see Sanwo-Olu lots on Nosede Foundation, LBS and Research Center. Akeredolu begins medical leave, transmits power to deputy governor. And by the side strip here, you find the story saying federal government spends 600 billion naira on electricity subsidy in 2023. Labour protests federal government's failure to pay 35,000 naira monthly award. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. And to the Blueprint newspaper now. The major story here says, no excuses for failure. INEC boss wants new resident electoral commissioners commissioned to release timetable schedules for reruns. And the story at the downstrip, powerful Nigerians involved in illegal mining sponsoring terrorism banditry, the federal government is saying. Court frees man charged with, this is a really sad story. I'll move on now to another story. Federal government to unbundle TCN says transmission sector very weak. African countries need partnerships for new green economy, Tinubu is saying. And these are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. We'll move now to the Daily Independent. To boost electricity supply, federal government plans to restructure transmission amidst power privatization exercise is disappointing. Wow. That will be an interesting read. Now, another story here, universal health coverage. Federal government plans to cut out of pocket spending of indigent Nigerians. Prominent Nigerians involved in illegal mining, funding, banditry, Alake alleges. Now, Akeredolu starts fresh medical leave, transmits power to Ayedatiwa. Mild drama as Senate based minister over 1 billion naira for Geneva trip. subsidy, TUC kicks over 35,000 naira wage award payments by installment. And court confirms Fubara's loyalists are here as Rivers Assembly Speaker. To this day newspaper now, the story here, the major story here says federal government charts new roadmap for power sector may halt dollar-denominated gas transactions. 250 naira per kilowatt of self-generated power unsustainable, says Adelabu. Electricity subsidy gulps 2.8 trillion naira in 7 years may guzzle 600 billion naira in 2023. Edun result from 10 years of privatization disappointing. Government to accelerate unbundling of the transmission company of Nigeria into two entities, BPE to sell shares of Discos, EPCL, Nikon, others to public. And Rwanda, federal government target of $1 trillion economy in 8 years becoming a pipe dream. Fubara secures crucial win as court confirms a here authentic Rivers Assembly Speaker. These are some of the stories you find on the front page of this day. And to the Nation newspaper now, electricity crisis. Government to sell off 40% investment in Discos. Nikon, LMA petrochemical shares for sale. TCN may be unbundled. Influential Nigerians behind illegal mining. Labour flays minister proposal of 17 trillion naira pension fund. All right, these are some of the stories you find on the front page of the Nation newspaper.
Right, Salient Times is the first with me here. Electricity subsidy gulps 2.8 trillion naira in 7 years. That's according to the NERC. And such a busy front page. Edo Labour Party aspirant resigns, alleges favoritism by EXCO. Akeredolu begins medical leave Wednesday, transmits power to Aiyedatiwa. I'm half Fulani, Kiss Daniel reveals. And above the nameplate, 18 pupils hospitalized after allegedly eating government's free meal in Osun. 10 killed, 7 injured in Lagos-Ibadan Expressway crash. Gunmen kill 4 soldiers, cart away guns in Rivers. Also, Rivers crisis. Court restrains Amawole's group from using assembly complex. Nigeria crawls like garden snails can't be called giants of Africa, says Goodluck Jonathan. Says Jonathan. Not sure whether it's good luck this time around. Now, this Nigeria is next. Pay us 33 billion naira. Families of 53 victims of Kaduna airstrike drag federal government army to court, demand compensation over killing of loved ones. Tinubu charges countries poaching Nigerian doctors to invest in nation's health sector. Polytechnics facing existential threat. ASUP alleges, you can read that up on page 5. 2024 budget for humanitarian affairs can't fight poverty, says Beta Edu. Kiamo to National Assembly. Airlines will compensate passengers over flight delays, cancellations as from 2024. Under the era of the newspaper, number of hungry people in West Central Africa to hit 49.5 million in 2024 World Food Program. Next is Daily Trust newspaper. Concerns over abducted students as airstrike kills bandits leader Kawaje. Riders read over 50 other villagers still in captivity. Parents worried, pray for safe return. Late kingpin behind 2021 Air Force jet crash. Powerful illegal miners sponsoring banditry, terrorism. Federal government. Kaduna massacre. Villagers sue federal government. Demand 33 billion naira compensation. 18 Osun pupils hospitalized after eating government's free meal. Court recognizes Fubara loyalist as Rivers Assembly Speaker. Nigeria to unveil new foreign policy. That's according to Minister. Nigeria Tribune is next. Powerful Nigerians involved in illegal mining, funding banditry, terrorism. That's the federal government talking there. Ogun kicks off GRA regeneration scheme set to create modern cities in Abeokuta, Ijebu-Ode, others. Alleged food poisoning. Osun government orders full investigation. Customs investigating female officer demanding 5,000 naira bribe at Lagos airport. Gunmen ambush Daewoo convoy, kill 4 soldiers. 2 drivers abduct 2 Koreans. Resume payment of 35,000 naira minimum wage. 35,000 naira wage award immediately. TVC asks federal government, expresses worry over Nigeria's debt profile. Rivers High Court recognizes Ehie as speaker. Above the nameplate, Naira tumbles at official parallel markets. Federal government to unbundle TCN into 2 entities, says gas pricing in dollar impacting electricity tariff. Akeredolu begins medical leave today, transmit power to Aida Tiwa. Next is Nigeria News Direct. Powerful Nigerians funding banditry, terrorism. Minister alleges Osun free meal, 18 pupils hospitalized. Government begins probe. Then we have Ogun State moves to upgrade GRA smart cities road project phase 250 billion naira funding deficit. Umahi, Electricity Act, federal government unveils plan to unbundle TCN. Akeredolu proceeds on medical leave, hands over to Deputy Governor. I guess you have some newspaper.
Right.
There with you.
Let me quickly run through what is left of the papers. To the Vanguard newspaper now. The major story here said 2024 budget under threat as oil price drops to $76.53 per barrel. Oil output falls 7.4% to 1.25 million per barrel. NUPRC. Oil theft still affecting output. NNPC is saying Minister of State oil remains positive. Experts make case for more investment diversification. All right, and some other stories here. Fresh outbreak of COVID-19 hits Benue. All right, this is quite a worrisome development. Competent leadership vital for Nigeria's progress. Jonathan Obi, others are speaking. Will improve health sector through increased funding, Tinubu, the president, is saying. And half a words, Tinubu hails Usime Oshwala Nadozie. To the top corner here, airlines to compensate passengers for delay, cancelled flights in 2024. The aviation minister is saying, I'm sure this will be music to the ears of a majority of Nigerians who use the airlines for travels. Now, Rivers Assembly crisis, court orders Edison to preside. Powerful Nigerians involved in illegal mining, funding, banditry, terrorism. Alaki is speaking. Electricity, federal government unveils plan to unbundle TCN into 2 entities. All right, we'll see how that will work in the coming days. Now to Business Day, multinationals exit to dent Nigeria's $1 trillion GDP target. Multinationals exit to dent Nigeria's $1 trillion GDP target. That's the big story you find on the front page of the Business Day. You might want to look into that for more details. A multinational payment doubles federal government's corporate tax haul on weaker naira. Edo 2024, Igodalo ex-Sterling Bank chair enters race. Interesting. Bank stocks shine in 2023. Transporters offload costs on consumers as bad routes hit cash flow. To the front page of the Guardian newspaper, the major story here says, NAFTA, counterfeit drugs, the market booms amid staff shortage, poor funding. This is quite a worrisome development with regards to the cost of medication in recent times that have seen prices soaring, and Nigerians have been complaining. This is the matter of counterfeit drugs. A lot of Nigerians have been talking about would take over the market because of the out-of-pocket treatment. Nigerians want affordable medication. But then you see the infograph, inferior drugs kill 500,000 persons in Nigeria. SSA countries yearly 267,000 deaths due to fake anti-malaria medicines, 169,271 killed by substandard antibiotics, only 2,000 NAFDAC staff saddled with 58,020 registered products post-market surveillance. That's quite sad. 97.1% of 7.648 billion naira budget goes to salaries, 2.9% left for capital expense. How do they recruit more staffers? That's the question being asked. Regulatory agencies now dependent on foreign donors for sensitive equipment. You might want to read up that story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. We'll move now to other stories. Israel-Hamas war still a long way to two-state solution peace. Government to unbundle TCN considers gas pricing in Naira. Rivers Assembly crisis. Court gives a Hears faction go-ahead to resume seating. Army sacks brigade commander over Adamawa police headquarters invasion. Federal government backtracks, admits powerful Nigerians behind illegal mining terrorism. 18 Osun pupils land in hospital after eating poisoned meal. A sad one there. And finally, on the front page of the Nature newspaper, Nigeria gains at COP28 with over $300 million in commitments and partnerships. Nigeria gains at COP28 with over $300 million in commitments and partnership. At COP28, AFDB reiterates benefits of channeling SDRs through MDBs. Still on COP28, Plant for Peace initiative aims to plant 84,000 trees globally. Nature Care tools in nutritional and health benefits. Zamfara government provides 2,000 clean cook stoves for residents. Environmental activists express disappointment at final draft of COP28. CAMIC calls for urgent action to reduce carbon footprints, combat climate change. These are some of the stories. Required to teach climate education in schools. This is music to my ears. Now we can begin to have climate change as a course in schools. Nigeria, South Africa champion transparency in just transition at COP28. Some of the stories you find on the front page of Nature newspaper. Let me just quickly get your thoughts, Ibraheem, on this matter of Kwara State looking to teach climate education in schools.
That's right. It's very important. You know, they say that the kind of oracle, I don't worship oracle, but if the family that worship oracles and you did not teach your children how to do it, then you expect that oracle to, go extinct. And that's to say that when we are planning to learn about certain things, learn about the ecosystem, learn about how we are impacting on our ecosystem, on the climate, when we are working on how to resolve all of the climate issues, it's better we also teach our children, the younger generation, for them to be aware of some of the things that we have done wrong. I'm still of the new generation, not the generation. Some of the things that we have done wrong.
Yourself.
So that they don't also go through the same route.
Right,
so
and then they can sustain the efforts
exactly
that this current generation have done ahead of them. Meeting up to carry on with whatever it is that has been done. It's a good development.
No, sorry, before you go, you asked me a question. I need to finish the answer.
Because we have limited time.
We have Esther Mapariola who is trying so hard to tell us not to eat pangoli. we have also one of the ladies of your view that also wrote a book on, the vulture and all of these things.
Yes.
So, and how they help on.
It's important we get this knowledge as much as possible. Over the years, I've been able to learn because I'm part of a fellowship where we talk about climate change, and I've learned a lot with regards to climate change. And it's important. I'm glad to see this. That's why I'm excited that we're starting this way, and it is good.
That's good.
It's good.